What's going on? It's Megan Holiday here. I want to thank you so much for joining us for another one of our HD Radio Soundspace Sundays. You can check us out every Sunday at 6 p.m. with a previous performance from an artist and a recent interview. So today I'm super excited to be talking to Jonathan Russell of the band The Head and the Heart. So check it out. You're now in the Bay Area and you officially have moved there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I've been out here now for almost 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I met my fiance about 4 years ago when I was living in Richmond, Virginia. And so I'd say for the last like 3 years I've been out here. Yeah,
I love the Bay Area. It's very near and dear to my heart. For living there in the Upper Haight for a while, and still under radio station up there as well. And,
yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, so I really appreciated your band's statement. Just with what's been going on. With the murder of George Floyd and all that. And I really liked what you guys. You talked about focusing on voting, exposing systems, and accountability. And I feel like that's really solution oriented, and I really appreciated you guys talking about that. So I just kind of wanted to see where your mind is at with all of it.
Right. And which is a complicated thing once you start. I think the difference between having conversations with your friends when you're trying to just have discussions and learn from other people and express your own opinions and anxieties, it becomes a different thing when it's on a platform as large as our band is fortunate enough to have. So I mean, everything that we've posted about is like, that's like a starting point. I feel like for right now, for a lot of people, or at least for us, it's like, let's listen and like try and educate ourselves as much as we can, because there's just so much to this that you don't want to say the wrong thing and like alienate a bunch of people, because then they're not listening, right? I mean, that's kind of seems like one of the big issues.
Yeah, I relate to that big time, just being on the radio and not wanting to say the wrong thing. But also, I just got to this place where I'm like, I'm anti-racism, and this is a movement that's happening, and I just have to stand up for what I morally think is right. And I understand not everybody is gonna agree with me, and I've gotten people that have, reached out on the text line and said some not very nice things, but I just would respond with love. And, my hope is just that people will, at least maybe it's planting a seed in their mind to change the way that they think or feel.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely can't claim to be, an ambassador of what's going on right now, but I would sure as hell want to be supportive of it. And I mean, there's
And just beyond that, just from the last few months of life just being absolutely crazy, how has just the shelter in place been for you? And have you felt creative at all or not,
When all of this when everything started closing down, and it was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 6 weeks, it's in a really selfish way. It was a nice slowdown from being a touring musician. I was trying to remember the last time that I had been home for a consecutive month. I think it had been over 5 years. Like, I'm literally usually home for 10 days at the most, and then you go out again, then you come home. So like, I don't know, just see my fiance's like work schedule more, and like weather patterns, and like being able to like turn into a local in your neighborhood. This is obviously a lot of really negatives that came with it, but it's been able to lead to some creativity. In the very beginning, there was a lot of fundraisers that we tried to do as many as we could, and at the moment, one of the silver linings has been like each band member, because we all live in different cities, and so each band member has kind of been building like a, you know, to varying degrees, like their own studio in their spaces. So we're like kind of working up this remote working, and working with producers remotely, and we're gonna give it a go and see how that works. So in a weird way, it's actually working out for some of the band members are a little more private with their creativity. Like they need space and some time to like make errors without anybody seeing it. So I think on one hand, it's actually kind of almost a gift for some people who are just getting more time with themselves and space, and whether it's reading books or playing piano or writing a song or checking in with your family. It's definitely been like a return to like simplicity, which I think has been really good for me, hopefully good for other people as well. I mean, it's a challenge with no income,
yeah.
You know, for everyone. That's the scary part, obviously, but I don't know. I'm definitely one of those people who's trying to focus on the positives as much as possible, but that was more than you asked for right there, but
that was perfect. I loved it. I totally agree with that. Just, you know, working from home or just being at home, I think all of us are kind of realizing that we're able to do so much more from home than we thought. Like I'm doing radio from my couch. It's a trip.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. But, and then also seeing your guys' performance on The Tonight Show a few weeks ago, performing Honeybee, which is a song that we've been playing, and it's so beautiful. And all of your music is really, I think it really leaves me with a sense of hope. And I think that that's such an important thing right now. And so seeing you guys do that all remotely, you know, and knowing that you were going to be on The Tonight Show on national TV, like doing it all remotely, how was that whole process for you?
It was daunting at first. And then once we started doing it, you start seeing things back and you're like, in a weird way, it's almost nice because you have more quality control. You know, you're not just walking on, you don't just get 5 minutes, you know, if you like 5 minutes and then, you know, you go to a bar later or you go to your friend's house later and try and stay until midnight and watch it. So it was a completely different process, but in a sense, it's been really nice to take full ownership over your vision. And we've been working with a creative director on this whole album cycle. Claire Gillen is her name. She's an LA-based artist. And so it's kind of, I mean, we're going to be doing a lot more of that. We kind of took that, like what we did with Honeybee for the Fallon performance. We're kind of trying to build that out into, you know, use this time, be creative, and keep putting out art, keep putting out music, and hopefully, you know, it helps people with their lives or with their, anytime they're feeling down or stressed out or just, you know, want to make somebody laugh. I mean, that's the benefit of having all of this time. But and thanks for, I mean, the band is, you know, I'll speak for everybody in saying we really appreciate you guys' support with Honeybee. It's a bit of a left of center song for us, which was refreshing for us to write and really refreshing to hear radio stations playing it. So hats off. Appreciate it, KROQ, for
absolutely
Honeybee.
Well, it sounds great, and Charity's voice is so beautiful, and I also love the piano version. It's really great. And something that I heard this morning for the first time, because I was using Alexa to listen to The Head and the Heart, and I heard your cover of Post Malone's Sunflower. And I'm a Post Malone shirt on right now. It's so good. Oh my god, dude, the cover is so good. I love it so much.
Thank you. Wow, that's cool to hear. Sorry, there's a trash truck now.
Hey, you know, we're out here, we're doing our best.
I feel like, the burbs are louder than the city these days, man. There's like blowers from like 8 to 5. There's just blowers just everywhere. Today's trash day.
Yep.
No dogs yet, which maybe this doesn't seem to be a big dog neighborhood, but but anyways, thank you. Yeah, the Sunflower cover was, and we did that with T-Bone Burnett, which was wild. I mean, when we found out that he was interested in doing something like that, I mean, it's when we sent him the song that we wanted to do, we were like, he's gonna push back. He's gonna like, let's do something more, this or that. No, he was like, love it, absolutely love it. Can't wait to see how that mashup goes. You know, like a rock band, an indie band, of whatever you would call us. There's folk in there as well, obviously. Yeah, it's a strange pairing, but I think it worked. So anyways, thank you. Yeah, we like it.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, I always think that Post Malone is an alternative artist.
That's true, yeah.
You know, I really do. When Circles came out, I really thought that KROQ should be playing it because, you know, produced by Kevin Parker of Tame Impala. And so we were a little late to the party on playing it, but we're playing it now. And some people, you know, are kind of like, what? But I think that it sounds great. I think is an alternative artist. I love him.
No brainer in my mind. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it's a whole vibe. Much more alternative than hip hop, but I mean, he came from like the singer-songwriter world in the beginning. Like, I remember listening to his early, I think maybe he had an EP out. It was before his first album, White Everson. I'm trying to think of like, there's killer songs on there. There was just like almost sent at home recordings. Maybe they are.
Yeah.
And it was just, I've been a fan ever since, man. Like, love what he does. I mean, even just to like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I love what he does. It's funny. I finally went online. I was just like, man, I'm gonna support the dude. We're like covering a song, and I finally got this T-shirt in the mail like a week ago, and it's like my favorite shirt now.
So good.
Fangirling over here, but yeah, big Post Malone fan.
I love it. You're like me and my friend Green, fangirl over Post Malone big time. And then another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Was I'm a big fan of Jackson Browne, and I know that when you were in Haiti, you were down there doing some work for Artists for Justice and Peace. And
Artists for Peace and Justice.
Yeah. So you guys ended up working on some songs together, including your song "I Found Out." So I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about that experience.
Absolutely, yeah. Any given chance, I would love to talk about those experiences because. I mean, I still can't really believe that was me that got to do that. So that whole thing came about, I want to say it was in 2015 when I first went down there. A friend of mine was working with APJ, Artists for Peace and Justice. And the band had taken a year off. We basically took a year off to just live our lives for 6 months and then write music. And then that's what it ended up turning into Signs of Light, which was before Living Mirage. And so I had this time to do things that I always wanted to do. And so that's what took me to Haiti and did some work down there. And lo and behold, Jackson Browne is involved as well. And he's on the same trip. And we're basically paired up to go into a classroom for like high school age kids there. To perform songs and to do like a Q&A. The teacher was there translating because everyone speaks Creole. And I mean, you talk about like imposter syndrome. I mean, it was like my first time doing any kind of like relief work. And then B, they're immediately like, okay, so this is Jackson. I'm like, yeah, I know who that is. Like, so you're going to go in here with him. You guys are going to go play some songs for these kids. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, you've never even heard you didn't even vet me musically. You're just like, you're going to go in there because like, oh, you're a musician. Okay. You go with Jackson. I mean, and that just, one ridiculous event after another. Next thing you know, we're having dinner on a beach with all of us together at the end of a night. And we're playing music with these local drummers that are just walking down the beach. And they start playing these traditional Haitian rhythms, which led to this like, I found out it's not the love that's in your mind, it's the love that you might find. Just led to this thing. It was kind of like riffing off of it. And then by the end of the night, I had like that chorus And Jackson was just looking over at me, just like, how the hell did you just do that? Because we don't speak the same language. The rhythms are odd. Like, I was trying to keep up on guitar and I couldn't, so I just stopped. I'm revealing way too much about myself, but so I was kind of comfortable in that realm, and that led to Jackson being like, what if we flew in artists from all over the world, musicians from all over the world, engineers from all over the world into this area? There's like art institutes down there for audio and for cinema. And so that's kind of what we did. We had like we would hold classes, like the engineer would give classes to the people that were studying audio engineering down there. We hired some local musicians to play on the album, also to help engineer, and who he's from Haiti. He now lives in New York. He goes back all the time because he's from there, and his parents are amazing and they live there. So it sort of turned into this idea of like a song summit is what he was calling it. Jenny Lewis is in there. Jonathan Wilson,
Wow.
Habib Kiote from Africa, Raul Rodriguez from Spain, again, Paul Bolbrin from Haiti and the States as well, Jackson Brown. And then I'm luckiest SOB in the world, and I have 2 songs on there myself, and I still can't really wrap my head around how it happened, but he's one of the loveliest people I've ever met, and he constantly is doing amazing work for others. He's an inspiration musically and just as a human. So
yeah. So is this an album really that's gonna come out?
Great thing to be able to do. It's it's out. It came out this year. It came out at the end of January. It's on a subsidiary of Warner Brothers, actually, which is the same label that the band's on and the art's on. I want to say it's Compass. It's like a I don't have the exact information, but it's I believe it's called Song Summit 1. Let the Rhythm Lead, which is like the name of Raul Rodriguez's song, which is sick. It's a sick song.
Well, I'm so excited to go and listen to it now that I actually know that it's out. I was reading about it and I didn't realize it was out. That's incredible.
It's beautiful. It's really eclectic. I mean, I love world music. There's also a lot of world music that you go, okay, not really want to hear a full album of that. And I'm telling you, this album, maybe I'm biased, but I feel like it's a really great album. It's beautiful. So yeah, you should check it out. It's a good one.
Absolutely. So I know, we kind of talked about it earlier, just how you're all in different cities, the Head and the Heart, all the different members, and kind of working on stuff independently and, collaborating like that. So, I mean, I know it's hard to even gauge at the moment, with touring probably not even happening until 2021.
Remember venues? Remember music venues?
Dude, I miss live music so much. I'm dying.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
So what do you think is just kind of, what does the future hold right now for the Head and the Heart? Do you think you guys are going to write a new album or just kind of wait to go on tour next year?
No, we're going to keep working in as many ways as we can. I mean, if anything, I feel like this is a time for innovation, and being an artist, it's kind of your comfort zone, right? So the scary part is trying to figure out how to monetize anything you're going to be doing. And not that it's about that, but at some point it's got to be a little bit about that, right? I mean, we need to make a little money too. But that aside, creative wise, like we were talking about the thing with Fallon that we did with Honeybee, like we're going to take that approach to, we're going to try and do like an entire album worth of songs in that sort of format. Again, collaborating with our creative director, Claire Gillen. And so like we just had a long call yesterday about kind of ironing that out. And then we fortunately in February we had worked on like 6 or 8 songs. We were all together in Nashville, actually down in LA, about this time. Working with a bunch of different producers down there that we were so excited to work with. I mean, it's a heavy hitter list. I'm not sure if that's something I can expose at the moment, but and the idea that we're pitching to people is to try and work with them remotely. We've had at least one guy come back and say that he's into it. So we're just going to see what happens. I mean, everyone has varying degrees of, and I've been running with it. I moved into the apartment that I was able to move into right before this all happened. Is like, it's just like a lovely, like, it's like a loft and super inspiring. It's like a place I've wanted since I was like a teenager, you know. Finally able to like have an inspiring space around you is really helpful. So long story short, yes, we're going to try and work remotely as much as possible, and hopefully still collaborate with these producers that we were intending to work with in person. It's anyone's guess how that's going to go.
Yeah, but you know what?
You know,
if you
it
never
could go really well.
you'll never know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's no sense in just waiting around, you know?
Exactly. So, I'm excited to hear what you guys do. And as far as the honeybee performance, it sounded incredible. So I think it's going to be a really great thing. So we are celebrating 100 years of radio. So I wanted to know, what has been the impact of radio on your career?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's very cool. And we really appreciate you guys even bringing us in to be in this discussion of celebrating 100 years of radio. It's quite an honor. I mean, it's an honor to be asked to be on the radio, or to have your music playing through the airways all over the country is already incredibly beneficial. Yeah, it leads to a lot of things, you know. It leads to, it can lead to really amazing interviews between people that I feel like you're able to like see a side of an artist or a band that you're not going to get from stage, or you're not going to get unless you have a one-on-one with them. And that's a challenging thing to get a lot of times. So there's so many people out there who are really great interviewers, yourself included. This has been lovely. But that, you know, if you can strike that chemistry up, it's great for everyone involved. And I think the idea always is to hopefully inspire people, you know, with your music or with the decisions you made in your life. Hopefully that's, you know, there's somebody listening who's, you know, 16 years old going like, oh, okay, like you don't have to have this and this. You can come from here and also do this. I mean, beyond that, there's like the radio shows, you know, KROQ is a great example. A lot of the radio shows you guys do at the Forum are always fun. And I mean, I don't know how else I'm getting on a bill with Green Day and Jimmy Eat World and the 1975 and Cage the Elephants. So it's and you know, you get to play in front of completely different fans who are there. Obviously, you know, maybe they're there to see the 1975. It's funny. Recently, we played a show, like two different bills where it was radio shows, and the 1975 was headlining, and I'd kind of heard of him like in the periphery. I'm not really sure how I kept one of the biggest bands in the world at bay for so long. But it just happens sometimes, you know. Yeah. And then there you are, and you know, you were earlier on in the set, and then you have time afterwards to just hang around and watch. And also, it's nice to come out and see the audience after it and be like, you know, trying to figure out who they're there for was always really fun for me, because it's also terrifying when you're on stage and you're like, they're clearly not here for us. But I mean, they might be towards the end. But anyways, I remember like just, man, being blown away by the 1975, like blown away.
They're so good. Yes.
It's insane. So you know, yeah. I mean,
and for other fans to get to be there because they're there for the 1975, but then you come on and then they see you live, and then now they're a fan, you know. I think that's one of the coolest things about the radio show is the diversity, and then, you know, bands that you maybe wouldn't necessarily go and buy a ticket for, but then you see them, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, where have I been? Like, I love this band, and now, you know, now I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we always appreciate you guys coming through and playing our shows, and I'm really excited too because we are about to play a performance from when you guys played at Acoustic Christmas in 2019. Right. So that's going to be awesome. And
cool.
John, I just want to thank you so much for hanging out with me. We got through this, man,
right.
through the technical issues, but we made this happen. And
yeah, it was like a real hangout.
It really was. I feel like I know you so much more now.
Same. Yeah. Yeah, Megan, thank you so much. And, you know, again, thanks so much for the love and the support. Keep playing Honeybee. It's really cool to see it doing what it's doing. So you guys are a big part of that. We realize that and really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll check you out on air in the Bay Area now that I'm up here. So
hell yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, John. And hopefully we'll be able to see you soon.
Yes, we will. We'll look forward to that for sure.
Awesome, man. Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye. Take care, Megan.
You too.